In this video, we're going to talk about greasing your trailer hubs the right way. But really quick before I get started, when I shot the video, I forgot to tell a quick story on the importance of greasing your trailer hubs. Now, this picture you're looking at is actually from 2 years ago. It was on the 4th of July. We were going up north, 70 miles an hour. The tire shot right off the trailer, and we never even found it. I mean, it launched that far away. Thankfully, nobody got hurt. We were using chains, and the ATVs were very well secured. However, this is a prime example of why greasing your bearings is so important. Now, this didn't happen because we forgot to grease the bearings. It was an older trailer and a piece of metal sheared off, and all the grease ended up draining out of the bearings, where all of the grease actually drained out of, and it heated up and just shot right off. Now, I understand that in this situation, it may not have been because we didn't grease the bearings. However, it's a prime example of what can happen if you don't have any grease in your bearings. Again, thankfully nobody got hurt in this situation, but if we'd have been in the other lane, that tire would have shot off and slammed right into a car. Or if a tie down had broke or something would have been properly secured, this could have ended much worse. So again, make sure you're greasing your bearings, make sure you're doing your maintenance. All right, roll the intro. Welcome to the channel, and thank you so much for watching. Say, if we're just meeting for the first time, my name is Chris with MidwestATVTrails.com, where we help you explore the unpaved by providing trail reviews as well as maintenance and gear related information. Alright, so today we're going to talk about greasing your trailer hubs the correct way. The reason we're talking about this is because I've seen many people do this, not necessarily even wrong, just less than ideal. So we're going to go over, if you have bearing buddies, which I'll talk about in a minute, how to grease them the right way. It only takes a few minutes and it's super easy to do. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. First things first, equipment. So for this, you're going to need a grease gun with grease, obviously, as well as a jack and a screwdriver. And I'm gonna put the links in the show notes below, so if you don't have one or two of these items, you can just go down there and click those links and it'll bring up a couple good options for you on Amazon. Not sponsored by these products or anything like that, just trying to help you get quality stuff fast and affordable. Okay, so first things first, and this goes into what I was referring to about doing it correctly. A lot of people just pop this off, plug into their bearing buddies, give it a few squeezes and call it good. However, what I've found to be more efficient and just really just a best practice, if you will, is to actually jack the trailer up so that you can rotate the tire as you're greasing the hub. So I've just got a small 2-ton jack here I'm going to use and a block of wood. All right, now one thing I do want to mention really quick before I jack this up, obviously be safe when you're doing it. Chock the trailer or hook it up to a truck. Do something to where it won't roll. I have this hooked up to a truck right now, so I'm really not worried about it rolling away on me. The truck's in park. And it's hooked up very securely. So if you're not going to do that, you're doing it in your garage or whatever, just make sure you chock it. Don't let your trailer roll over on you or risk getting hurt over something so simple. All right, we're gonna go ahead and jack her up. So as you're doing this, make sure you find a secure spot under your frame so you don't bend anything. And then with a small jack like this, it's got teeth in it. So I just like to put some cardboard in between the jack in the trailer. That way, I don't dent anything. I know it's the bottom of the trailer, but I just, try and keep everything as clean and nice as possible. All right, so as we're doing this, one of the things we want to do is really just get it high enough so that this wheel will free rotate. Because really, that's what we want. That we don't need to bring it up any higher than that. We're not going to take the wheel off. We just want it to be able to rotate as we're greasing the bearings. Okay, so obviously every trailer is different. On this one, there's a little slot where you can easily just stick a screwdriver in and pop this off. So look for that. Yours might be obviously designed a little different. Just be careful, find a way to easily get the cap off so you don't damage your wheel or anything like that. That's all there is to it. That just pops right off. Very easy. So in this tire now, we've got a rubber cap, and that rubber piece is actually over your Zerk fitting. So you want to take that off. Be careful, obviously, not to tear it or anything like that, so that you can get to the Zerk fitting underneath. Okay, so as you can see here, this is just a rubber cap. You can kind of see where it fits in there. It just fits right into place. It's not too hard to get in and out. Like I said, just be careful that you don't puncture a hole or anything. I peeled back from the sides and then got a screwdriver in there and just popped it out that way. Very easy. Okay, so now that we've reached the Zerk fitting, all we're gonna do is snap our grease gun on, fill it up while we rotate the tire. So we're gonna go ahead and stick this on. So just push right on. And we're gonna start adding grease into the hub as we spin the tire. Now, this is where a lot of people screw up, is they don't spin the tire. It just helps the grease get into the bearings a little easier, and just overall is just a really good practice, and that's how I recommend doing it. All right, so as you're greasing and rotating it, when the bearing really gets packed full of grease, it'll start to come out. So then all you have to do is pull your grease gun off, and then just make sure you get in there and clean out any grease, anything like that before you put the cap back on. So once you complete all that, you put your rubber cap back in there, your cover on, you lower the wheel, do the exact opposite, and you're done. Just like that, we are done. This really isn't a complicated process, especially if you've done it once or twice, and especially if you got Bearing Buddies. I'm gonna put a link in the show note below. If you don't have Bearing Buddies, check them out. They're a great thing to have. I should actually do a video on greasing your bearings when you don't have Bearing Buddies. I mean, it's a whole different world. Now, it's not overly complicated in the grand scheme of things, but compared to having Bearing Buddies, it's like 3 times the amount of work. Anyway, I'm gonna put a link in the show notes below. Check them out if you don't have them. If you're gonna grease your bearings anyway, you're already gonna have your bearings out, you're already gonna have your tires off. If you can afford it and they're not overly expensive, think about getting those Bearing Buddies. I hope this was quick. I hope this was helpful. If it was, think about smashing that thumbs up button. Otherwise, think about hitting that subscribe button because I like more subscribers. No, I'm just kidding. Think about hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on future videos that we put out. Also, if there's anything you'd want to see for Maintenance Monday, let us know in the comments below. Also, let us know if there's another way that you grease your bearings or another tip or trick that you have. Mention that in the show notes below so I can gain more knowledge and others can gain more knowledge as well. All right, guys, that's all I got. Thanks for watching.